Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're still at it. Shadows Over Innistrad, Swiss Draft. Thanks everybody for tuning in over the July 4th holiday weekend. Hope you enjoyed the all the streaming. I ended up streaming today, Tuesday as well. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Like this video, it helps me a lot. And finally, tune into my Twitch. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, usually all day. All right, we're going to take the Burn from Within. Hopefully we wheel this Rise from the Tides. It'd be nice to make a Rise from the Tides deck work for you. I could first pick the Rise, but Burn from Within is also really good in the Rise deck and just is so much more of a valuable card. So we're going to take Burn from Within. Hope to wheel that Rise from the Tides. We'll see if we do. Okay, well, I can take the Fevered Visions and still hope to make the Spells deck work. The thing is, Fear Visions is good in that deck. You can make a Spells deck without Rise from the Tides, but then you still need like Pyre Hounds and Aberrant Researchers and stuff like that. So we're going to take the Fevered Vision. Otherwise, it'd probably be like a Mysteries or a Dauntless Cathar, but we'll take the Visions here just because it is good for the Spells deck. I'm still hoping we can make that deck work. All right, now we're going to take the Just the Wind. I mean, theoretically, someone else could go in Rise from the Tides because we passed it. But basically, I'm just hoping that it wheels. It is a very build-around archetype, which is the reason we're taking the Just the Wind here over, like, Concoction, which is fine. But like I said, if you end up with a Riseless Rise from the Tides deck, it's not as good. It still is good enough. But it will need a Pyre Hound, or preferably 2 Pyre Hounds. And a Aberrant Researcher would certainly help too. You can also end up with a blue-red Tempo deck, which is also just fine. Certainly not great. All right, I'm going to take the Blood Mad here. It's good for the blue-red Tempo version of the deck. Could take the Duelist, which is also good for the... Duelist is probably better than Blood Mad. Blood Mad would probably be better in the Rise version. Duelist is probably better in the Tempo version. So we'll prepare for in case we have to play the Tempo version. Drownyard Explorer is probably just what we want. Otherwise, Nagging Thoughts is quite good for the Rise deck. But we're going to prepare for if the eventuality that we have to play a Tempo version of this deck. So I'm going to take the Explorer. Not that the Explorer is particularly Tempo, but it's just much better than... All right, now getting the Pyre Hound's good news. That's a very good piece for the Riseless version of this deck, or the Rise version of this deck, either one. A really nice aspect of this deck right now is really no one likes blue. Blue is just a very unpopular color in the format, which makes drafting it really nice for decks like this, whether they be the Tempo or the Spells deck. Take a second Pyre Hound. Yeah, I'll take it over the Pieces. Pieces goes really late anyway. And like I said, now we can just straight up make either the Spells or the Tempo version, or even a combination of both, and be just fine. So Catalog versus Rush. Rush, I guess, is a bit redundant with Pyre Hound. We're still going to hope that we can make this Spells deck work. So I think this is the pack where we get the Rise back or not. All right, did not get the Rise back, so we'll take the Niblis instead of the Gone Missing. Okay, Scrutiny is pretty nice for us here. Good card with the Pyre Hound. Still have a chance to find a Rise the other direction, possibly. Although, now that we know someone's taken Rise, could end up being a problem too, but we'll see. Drownyard Explorers are fine. I guess we're already a little bit 4-drop heavy, but that's alright. So I'd prefer to not play this. Everything else is fine at the moment. Take the Distortion. So I still don't regret the Burn from Within over the Rise. Like I said, there was a much higher % chance that we wield the Rise. Sibling Snapper is an option you can do for this deck. I just personally, I don't like it. Oh yeah, and there's been some backlash against some of my decisions for playing 16 land decks. I've pretty much decided I'm pretty much strictly 16 land decks in this format from now on. Double Burn from Within? That's pretty cool. Guess we'll do that. Yeah, but from now on, I'm pretty much just actively trying to build 16 land decks. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, and I just tend to get flooded more often than screwed. So, to me, it's just preference. 2 Burn from Withins is pretty sweet. Dance with Devils is a fantastic card. Really strong. Definitely happy to have it here. I already started to want to just drift away from the Drownyard Explorers and really cut the curve down now as much as we can. Burn from Within is good if you get flooded, and it's certainly fine if you're not. Playing it at 3 mana to, exile a 2 toughness creature is also fine. Pyrehounds are looking great in this deck at the moment. Niblis is looking good, so we can certainly design a deck that will be fine. Tempo or spells still. Either way. That's why Dance with Devils is such a premium card for this deck. It pumps your Pyrehounds and it gives you creatures, so it's one of the better cards you can get for this type of deck. So options now, we have Deny Existence, Stormrider Spirit, Dual Shot, Piece of the Puzzle. I think we'll probably take the Dual Shot. It's useful with Pyrehounds. It's cheap, keeps our curve low, and Pieces and Stormrider Spirit and Deny Existence aren't. Pieces is certainly something this deck wants, but not really if we don't have the Rise, then it's probably not worth it. So let's just take the Dual Shot. Ooh, Illuminator is fantastic. So we're definitely taking this. That's really nice. Granted, we don't have much in terms of investigating right now, but we can find more. Ideally, like Press for Answers and Jace's Scrutiny get a lot better. Honestly, Engulf the Shore seems like a really good card for this deck. Ideally, our Pyrehounds are already at a point pump-wise, because they also get pumped in response to this, where I don't have enough islands where I have to worry about losing them. So it can be just super powerful. Like, clear their one-sided board, wipe, and pump your Pyrehounds. Seems pretty ideal. Otherwise, it's another duelist, but I'm actually going to take the Engulf here pretty happily. I can take Uninvited Geist. I can take Pour Over the Pages. They're both a little unexciting. I can take the Nagging Thoughts as well. I don't really have Madness value. I already have a little bit of card draw, not a ton. I think I'll take the Geist. I could take the Pour, I guess. Pour's alright. It's not ideal in this deck, but maybe we want some more card draw, I guess. I never really give Uninvited Geist a fair shake, to be honest. So we could take Stitchwing Scab, but to keep the curve down, I kind of want to take the Niblis. Just get another evasive thing. I don't really want any more 4-drops, even though I think Stitchwing Scab's a better card. Silent Observer blocks, but once again, we're just going to take the Killer because it's cheap. I don't think this is a Scribe deck. Doesn't seem like we can. So I could probably want Homunculus here, just get another cheap dude. Tempo decks in particular, especially a deck like this, really just needs to make sure it's doing a lot early. So even though I don't think Homunculus is great, it's going to be what we're looking for in a deck like this. I can take the Stormrider Spirit. What's our spell count for pieces? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8, 9's not bad. I probably still take the Stormrider Spirit though. Another flyer that maybe flash blocks. All right, Homunculus. Well, could take the Ember-Eye Wolf. Ember-Eye Wolf is probably better, to be honest. So I could actually take the Essence Flux here. We have Illuminator and all the Niblis. That's not bad. Otherwise, I'm taking Fixing. I think I'm actually going to take the Flux here, as strange as that is. We actually have Spirits. It does protect from removal. It works well with Niblis. It works well with Pyrohound. And there's still a chance we find some more Spirits. I could just make our mana slightly better. I do understand that, but I'm okay with this for now. Oh, wow. This is quite the pack for us. Investigation works really well with Illuminator and Evasiveness, but Researcher is yet another really nice win con for this deck, and Welcome to the Fold is really good too. So this pack has all the goods we want, and it's got the Press for Answers for the Illuminator. I think we're going to take the Researcher, right? Because how many, didn't we have quite a few spells? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10's pretty nice count. Ongoing Investigation is very good in this deck too. Like I said, especially with the Illuminator. I think we're still going to take the Researcher. It's a big win con. So Mangler is pretty premium in this deck. It actually works well with Essence Flux too. It's really what a tempo style deck wants. So we'll take the Mangler here and maybe wheel the Scrutiny, which would be nice. Oh man, Tormentor? Yeah, we're just gonna hate this because this card is one of the better cards you can get in Limited, and I don't want to deal with it. I'm passing basically a Deny Existence, which doesn't matter anyway. Another Mangler here is actually really nice. So first cut is probably going to be Catalog. It seems less necessary in this deck. I don't even think we have Madness value, really, do we? Well, I guess we have the Just the Win, but we'll take the Mangler. So Sanguinary Mage is typically pretty good in decks like this, and I don't think this deck is necessarily an exception to that. So we'll take the Mage. I got to figure out what I'm cutting for it. I might just cut the Homunculus. I mean, Sleep Paralysis is good, but a deck like this prefers Reduce. I think we've got enough ways to win, so let's take the Reduce to Ashes. It pumps your Pyrohounds, which Sleep Paralysis does not. And Reduced Ashes deals with most things that Sleep Paralysis can't. Also, Engulf the Shores with Sleep Paralysis is kind of a non-bow. Wow, Confirmed Suspicions is cool. I think we'd still prefer the Press, though. It's a better tempo card, and it keeps our curve low, and it works better with Illuminator. Actually, no, it's still fine. I mean, Investigate 3 plus an additional time, or just Investigate twice for 2 mana. We'll take the Press. So we've got to make cuts, which, like I say, is always a good problem to have. We're kind of dealing with the best case scenario problems here. Getting a Geist Blast is like just so perfect for our deck. It's pretty much exactly what we're looking for. Good chance of getting some double value. Now, if this gets copied, is X equal 0, or does X equal what you paid for it? Hopefully we won't have to encounter that problem. So we can already start to decide on some cuts here. We'll take a second Press. That seems good, actually. So yeah, we can really figure out some good cuts for this deck now. Use is good. We don't really have... It does have haste. I don't think we'd play it. So I could just take Foreboding Ruins. Take some money. But I don't want to deal with Youths, I guess. And Foreboding Ruins isn't worth that much anyway. I don't think we're going to play a Neonate. It's kind of cool, but probably just hate a Scribe, maybe. Alright. Gone Missing. Second to last pick, Sleep Paralysis. We could probably find space for that, honestly. Like I said, though, it is a non-bow with Engulf the Shore, which I don't like. And I guess we have enough other tempo stuff. So now I just sort of want to... This deck is, obviously, it's Riseless, which ordinarily could be a problem. In this deck's case, I don't think it's that big of a problem, because we still have double Pyrohound plus Researcher, which are good win cons. Plus we have double burn from within if we just deal enough damage early. So we have to make 5 cuts. I think I'm actually going to cut the Pour Over the Pages. I already have Fevered Visions. I kind of want to cut this Homunculus, just because I think it's like the worst creature in our deck. Killer's even better because it just gets big. Plus we have a lot of instants. Plus we still have 15 creatures if you count like this. This deck doesn't need 15 creatures, by the way. Spell count is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spells. So I at least want 10. Oh, no. 12 spells. I at least want 10, though. Dual shot. How many spirits do I have? The thing with Essence Flux, like I said, though, it works well with the Manglers. That can't be overlooked. Plus, we have the Niblis of Dusk. So it saves some removal and pumps those. We have the Illuminator and the Stormrider Spirit. So we have 5 spirit. We have 7 things that work pretty well with it. It also, I mean, it has Duelist synergy. And it saves your Pyrohound from getting killed. I kind of am feeling the Essence Flux. I think we're actually going to start cutting some creatures. So I'm going to cut the Dual Shot, I think. And I think I'm going to cut a Killer. Not that Killer's bad, but I just probably don't need it. I'd rather evade. What's all the investigation stuff we have? We have 2 press, a scrutiny, and that's it. All right, not a ton of investigation going on for the Illuminator, but that's all right. It still is just insane if you have both. Plus, maybe you can copy it with Geist Blast or something. So I need to make one more cut, and then we're good. I still have 11 spells. I could drop down to 10. I like all of our spells, though. Quite a bit. How many flyers do I have? I have 3 Niblis, Illuminator, Researcher, Stormrider Spirit. Yeah, I prefer to not cut a spell here if possible. I could cut a Duelist. Just cut a 4-drop. Could cut an Embry Wolf, but I want to keep the curve low here. Duelist is decent. I could cut the Essence Flux. It is just cute, and all of these creatures are going to be... This is a nice creature package. Like, I really like how condensed this is. I do think... Nobody expects the Flux, though, which is just really nice. It's a bit of a challenge. I might... Maybe I cut the Sanguinary Mage. I mean, Sanguinary Mage is typically pretty good in decks like this, but I might just prefer the Embry Wolf, because if I can tap down blockers, but then I probably can't Inflate Wolf. I probably still can, though. It also blocks relatively well. Honestly, I don't know which one of these I like more. I'm tempted to cut one of them. I could just cut the Stormrider Spirit, because why not? Do I really need a 5-mana 3/3? It does work well with the Flux, I guess. And it flies. I do want enough evasion. I could cut a press, but then that's one less thing for Illuminator to be good with. I don't really want to cut Reduce, because I have some pretty good removal spells right now. So I don't want to cut a flyer. I don't really want to cut a 2-drop. I don't want to cut this because it flies. This is a challenge. Maybe I do cut the Essence Flux. That does only leave me with 10 spells. I think I'm going to cut the Sanguinary Mage. I'm just feeling like I'd rather have an Embryo Wolf to put mana into, so it trades on the ground. I can leave up Instants or Pump. I still want to try out this Flux. I want 11 spells because it seems better. Oops. So our mana base is fine. I'd probably still do an 8-8 split, even though I have more blue spells. I want to see one of each, and I'm fine after that. Although, maybe 9... Well, I'm trying to think why 9-7 would be better. It's not better for Embryo Wolf, but it's better if I want to play multiple blue spells in a turn, which I feel like I'm going to end up doing. Oh, plus Engulf the Shores. All right, we're going to do 9-7, actually. I don't know how good this deck is. I think it's okay. We have enough win cons. We have the Riseless Rise deck, which I've been successful with before. Our curve is relatively low. Like, you can even imagine these as like 3-drops, like I said, and they function just fine. So, I'm sure there's going to be people, yeah, 17, 17. I get it. Don't just, if you're thinking about commenting on that, don't worry about it. I've played 16 land decks enough in this format where I'm not really concerned about that problem. Like I said, I get flooded just so much more often than I get mana screwed. And really the key to success with something like that is just making sure your curve is pretty low, which this deck's curve is actually pretty low. Problems with this deck, we don't have a ton of card draw, so could have a problem on that front, but yeah, I probably rate this deck low C, like 72%, 70, well, got the Burn from Within, so maybe, yeah, 72%, I guess. If it had a Rise from the Tides, it'd be way up in B territory, so one card made a huge difference in this deck, and if I knew I was going to get a second Burn from Within, I would have built it differently had I gotten the Rise, because we have a lot, this is a different version, this is much more of the tempo-oriented build than the spells version, but we still ended up with like kind of a weird cross-section of those two decks. But yeah, 72% I feel comfortable saying for this, so we'll see how we run, and we'll run it like this. We'll see you round 1.